in Italy?
I live in Asolo, actually, Jessyca. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm honored to have received your invitation. I think you know Asolo, right?
Yes, I've been up there with you. I've been in Italy many times. I worked after I left you. I was working in Italy for 3 years. So,
oh my gosh.
I'm glad to catch up with you too. So I'll talk a little bit about the broadcast, and then I'll introduce you and what you do, because I'm anxious to hear about that too. So the Timetowine broadcast with Jessyca Lewis is a live broadcast featuring experts in wine, entrepreneurship, leadership, social media, and marketing. I may have to have a different one for entrepreneurs. It's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the second and fourth Monday of the month. And all of the international interviews are every other Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the broadcast is featured on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I have now been approved for LinkedIn Live. We're using Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and I'm working on Amazon Live. And so we'll be doing a live interview as well. And Katiuscia has been an international leadership trainer and coach since 2007. And she has been the executive education director at CIMBA Italy for 17 years. So we're going to go and talk a little bit about her work history and what she does for CIMBA.
Absolutely.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, as you know, I initiated my job with CIMBA in 2001. At the time, I was only 26 years old, and now, for the record, I'm almost 47. And at that time, I was not sure about this opportunity, because I was not able to speak in English at all, even though, I studied in the college, all of these things. But I started my job at CIMBA. I was barely able to say, my name is Kati. I'm serious. I'm not really joking, So all the people in CIMBA absolutely made a big act of faith on me. And I will be basically grateful to them for my entire life, because CIMBA has been an amazing gym. It's the place where I learn all the coaching skills, how to teach people, how they can be the best leader. It's a place where I did also my MBA, So I stayed in CIMBA until March 2019, and it was an amazing experience. After that, I felt the need to go out of my comfort zone. I felt the need to start my own adventure, so to say, which is still, in the coaching and leadership, the training field, but it's also associated with building online self-paced courses. I was experiencing how to teach people leadership and coaching, etc., but I didn't know anything about how to build a video, how to teach online. I had absolutely zero experience. So I decided to take all the tutorials on Udemy, YouTube. I started step by step how to create videos. And so in 2019, I've been able to build actually my first online course. It was at the time in Italian, and then I did all the others in English. So far I have 7 courses that are now also hosted by my online school, and I'm happy, I have two of these courses that are also on Udemy, and it's been a great first step, actually, because I had a chance to learn with all the Udemy tutorials how to build courses, how to do your promotion, how to build your visibility online. So even though, the majority of students I have on Udemy enroll because of free coupon, special promotion, but so far I have 30,000 students from all around the world. So it's a huge step for me, because these students didn't know about me, and they have a chance to have an appetizer with this short course I have, and then they might be interested in my book as well, which is Improvise and Succeed. And then if they are happy with all of this, sometimes they are also going to call me. They say, hey, we enjoy your stuff, actually, Kati. We would like to do some individual coaching session as well. So Udemy is really the first step of a system, that I built in order to create some kind of social proof and visibility online. I hope I create an accurate summary of my history, so to say. If you have more questions, of what I share, please.
Well, what type of courses? You said you have 7 courses online. What type of courses do you have?
they are all related with the improvisation skills and also how to coach people. I'm a coach. I'm an ICF coach since 2007. I'm in love with all the coaching world. So it's about how to be a leader, how to build your team, how to give feedback, how to act as a coach, even if you are not, So I would say the specific audience I have are basically executives and entrepreneurs. But having said that, all these skills, as you know, Jess, are useful for everybody, right? Because we are all called to give our best to others. We are all called to be able to learn how to manage uncertainty and ambiguity, to live even if we are not prepared. And we know this, especially for what happened in these past 2 years, right?
Yes, things we could never imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, yeah.
And here we are, we persevere.
Yeah.
So you just talked a little about improvisation and coaching. Did you have a little bit more to add about that, or did we cover that?
No, I would say, I was a coach since 2007. I did not know anything about improv. I did not have any experience in the theatrical, arena, so to say. But in 2009, I was in the US for a job, and I said, well, it would be nice to spend some days a week in Chicago. But I said, I don't want to be free all day, because I enjoy going around, visit here and there, but I need to learn some new stuff. So I simply, was exploring on the web about schools in the city, and the name of Second City School actually appeared.
Oh,
and I said, what's the Second City? I don't have a clue, but it sounds interesting. They are teaching improv. So, I was exploring, then I realized it's very famous. Okay. So I said, okay, so I enrolled in a course. In the first one, it was about improv skills. And I was astonished because everything that the facilitator was showing us, it was stuff I was using in coaching, how to listen deeply to people, how to stay really present in the here, in the now, how to be able to pay attention to the scene, okay? And so it was amazing because the teacher was saying, look, Kati, you're really good in this, And I didn't say I was a coach, but I was laughing inside me because it was all the stuff I was doing, in my everyday job. So I was really astonished about how many commonalities there were in place between the two sides. Then I go back to Second City again in 2013 to take another course about improv. And I said, okay, now is the time for me to write that kind of book that I have in mind for years. I was not sure about what was the subject. And actually, because of the experience with improv now, I know. I absolutely realized it was okay for me to build a system where I was going to integrate all the coaching skills with some essential improv skills. So people can learn how to manage uncertainty, ambiguity, build positive relationship with others as well. So basically, the summary of my book is 8 steps that help people to do so. And then at the end of each chapter, I also added, coaching questions, exercises, so people read and they have a chance to apply as well.
Okay, and so I think it's so fun you went to Second City in Chicago. There used to be, I don't know if you know this, but in the United States there was a show called Saturday Night Live. Do you know anything about that?
I know that. Yeah.
So a lot of them came. Many people. Yeah, so a lot of them came from Second City in Chicago, and so a lot of comedians are from there. So that's really nice that you did that. I like doing things out of the norm. So let's just talk real quick. Let's switch gears to COVID real quick. So we've all had an unprecedented pandemic for the last 3 years, and we've all had to deal with continual change, unimaginable experiences. So what was your experience in Italy? I know at first when it appeared to start in Italy. And so everybody in the United States, I remember, was going, whoa, what's going on? So do you want to talk a little bit about your experience and how you've evolved and where you are now?
Yes. As you said, when we started with COVID, it was hard because we were in somehow the first, so for the entire world, it looks like we have this issue only in Asia and here, okay? And I have to say, I stay in my apartment for weeks, without seeing anybody. But for me, to be honest, it was a specific amount of time I had to focus on being able to build all the courses I had in mind, to create all the videos, all the systems that otherwise, if I was going to have my, usual experience outside, I was not for sure having the kind of focus I was, required to do so. So if the question is, was I in pain because I was not able to meet people? Yes, I was. Did I enjoy in somehow what I was doing? I did, because in that specific weeks, I had the time and the focus to finally build stuff that I've been thinking for years. Okay. So I hope I answer your question. Having said that, for the majority of people, it was hard. It is still hard in somehow, because some people were able to, this kind of news style, but others are still in pain because they say, okay, for weeks and for months, I didn't have the time to see my friends, to see my family member. It looks like I was not able to live, So I hear story for so many people that are still in pain because of this. So it was hard. Now, of course, all the restrictions for the COVID are, a little bit more soft, but still there is an uncertainty, because we might have a week that it looks like everything is okay, and then few days after, you are going to listen to the news and they say, oh, all the numbers are going to increase again, so people get scared, so it's not easy, even though with the we had so many people that said yes to all the vaccination steps, so that helps a lot, at least to avoid that we were going to have the strict lockdown that we had from March until almost June 2020. That was really strong.
Here, some of the things, so one of the things that happened with me is what happened with you. I'm an extrovert and I'm usually out a lot. And so I was forced to stay home. So I'm an entrepreneur. And so I did all kinds of entrepreneurial things, like this broadcast. It's the same thing that you did. I had to sit and study and watch videos because there's not a lot of tutorials on how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how to do the graphics and how to do all the banners and all this kinds of things. So I sat and worked on this, and it was a really nice way. So I kind of created this centralized place to broadcast information from different countries. And what was nice about it is many of us couldn't travel back and forth. So people were communicating with each other on these centralized pages, if that makes any sense. So it's been a really nice experience for me. And then on this side over here, we just took our mask off, and we've had 3 vaccinations, but up until now, we have been, when we go to the concert hall, we have to bring our COVID cards with our vaccinations before you can get in.
Yeah.
And we just took our mask off. And so there are a lot of people that are worried about it. I'm just so tired of the mask that I'm so tired of COVID that, you're just going to go, oh, okay, I'm done.
I understand, Jess. I'm really hoping that in Italy as well, they will announce soon that we are not required to wear the mask inside of places as well, But for now, we still have to do it.
You still have masks? Okay, we
yeah.
On this side, on this coast, we took the mask off. We don't have to wear them anywhere. There are still people. There still seems to be some animosity in the sense that there's people wearing their mask, even though we've been told we don't have to wear a mask. So there's a little bit of animosity, like you're not wearing your mask, but the government said we don't have to wear a mask. So I think there's going to be a little bit of polarization between mask wearers and non-mask wearers. And it's kind of interesting to see who would have ever thought this would come up.
Oh my gosh. It's a bit similar here as well, because now outside, if you walk outside in the nature and you don't have so many people around you, you are not required to wear the mask. But as you said, also here there are people that even if they are walking in the nature, they wear the mask. So sometimes when I go outside for a hiking path or just for a simple walk, I see people that are wearing their mask. They are going to look at me in a funny way, like almost say, you should wear the mask as well, So I understand your point.
The same thing. Do you want to talk a little bit about your future webinars?
Yeah, actually, I created a kind of recorded, so to say, coaching sessions where I ask people a series of questions, like usually I do in a real coaching session, about what are their values, what are their life purpose, what are the goals that they have, and then toward the end, I also invite people to build. To choose actually what are the actions that they are willing to put in place in order to start to achieve actually what's really essential for the audience. Okay, I was saying that the beauty of this webinar is that even if it's it's not like having a coach that is there to talk with you, but you can get access to this session, and you can do it, once every 4 weeks, every month. So it's almost like having an external coach that is going to force you in somehow to really focus on your goals, on your actions. So the first time I did it live, okay, now it's all recorded, so it's also on sale on my online academy. And so it was an interesting experience. I got some feedback, to be honest, from people that said, okay, Kati, we enjoy this, but it's not like having a real coaching session, okay? And I knew this. But I thought that for people that are not willing or, ready yet to spend some energy and time to hire a coach, is a nice way, is a nice first step to experience what's really how important is that you stop and you reflect on what's essential for you, what is your life purpose, and build some action steps as well, because being in touch with your values and your life purpose is awesome. But then if you are not going to take actions, we are all super busy in our everyday life. So there is, a huge risk that what are your goals, but you are not going to start to work on it.
Well, I'm really glad that you started your coaching again. And okay, so you have a book that you've written based on your improvisation and Second City, but Improvise and Succeed.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that and then your second book?
Yes. So I made the decision to have a book, years ago. I was not sure about what I should have, what was going to be the focus, etc., etc. And then my experience at Second City, as I said, really helped me to say, okay, I'm going to write a book about improv and coaching skills. And so I did it, but I didn't have the focus and the persistence to keep really, to say, okay, I'm not going out to enjoy my life because I stay home. I need to go ahead with all this stuff. So years after years, my frustration, so to say, was increasing because I really wanted to write a book, but I was not able to do it, And then in 2018, I have been incredibly lucky, if I may use this word, even though I do believe we create our own reality, actually, right? But I've been super lucky because I met an agent, and she said, look, I'm willing to support you. I'm willing to help you to find a publisher, even though I did not have a book, actually. But she said, I love the idea. So the fact that I found an agent really forced me somehow to say, okay, I need to stay at home. I need to write. I need to finish my book. I did it. And then she started to promote it. Okay. And then a year after, I said, okay, any news? And she said, look, Kati, you need to fly down. You need to be really patient because unless you're super famous on the web, It's not easy to find a publisher, you need to wait. And then I said to myself, oh my gosh, I've been waiting almost for a year and a half now. My book is not story, it's a self-help book. If I'm going to wait again, the risk is that my book is going to be old, okay? It's going to be out of context. So I made that kind of choice that until that moment, I was avoiding like hell, because I thought it was a B plan, okay, which was doing a self-publishing with Amazon. I thought that, you self-publish with Amazon just because you're not able to find a publisher, because your book is not so good at the end, blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay, Kati, we change our mind now, we go for it. So in July 2020, I made a decision to publish the book, to self-publish the book with Amazon. And to be honest, Jess, that was probably one of the best choices I ever made in my life. I love all the system that Amazon is offering. I love the KDP platform. You have so much flexibility. You can add new content. You can edit your book. Everything is easy, approachable also. So I published first the book in Italian, Improvisare per vincere. 2 months after, actually was out in English as well, Improvise and Succeed. Now I'm working to a second book, which is still about improvisation and coaching skills, but is more specific for audience, which are like executives, entrepreneurs, because it's about how they can build a team, how they can run all the facilitation stuff in the company, so that even if they are not officially a coach, they act in somehow, as a coach. And this second book is the expression of an online certificate program that I built a year ago, which is Act as a Coach, Improv and Coaching Skills for Managers and Entrepreneurs. So I have all the video, with all the lessons and stuff. Now I'm in the process of translating what I'm saying, into words. And this will be basically my future second book, so to say. And absolutely, I will go with Amazon also this second time. There is no doubt,
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm so glad. That's so nice that worked out. I'd like to hear a little bit about more of that too. And then I want to ask you a little bit. I know that you work with many different cultures, especially at CIMBA. So let's talk a little bit about culture shock.
I love it.
And you're in Europe, and then you work with people from the United States. But do you want to talk a little bit about some of the things you've seen with different cultures?
Yeah, it's being able to work internationally for me is a must. I love it, because even though you understand sometimes it is not easy, okay, but it gives me so many stimulus, new perspective, new way of see things. Everything I do it in English, and it's always interesting how, I'm supposed to speak in English if I speak with an American, which I love it, because you guys are very succinct and to the point, But if I speak with a person from UK, the kind of English I use, maybe this is not something they appreciate like you might do, because I'm since I'm Italian, you understand that being succinct is not necessarily a strength I have, okay? So I do my best to do it, but for some people, it's maybe even too much sometimes. So now in this phase, also because I've been in touch with CIMBA, they are building, an amazing new program where they are going to assist people to tell story, okay? So you're going to share what you are supposed to share, but you're going to build a story also, so that you're going to be persuasive, appealing. And I love it, because honestly, storytelling is not instinctively stuff that I will do, okay? So learning a framework that helped me to do that is essential. And what I'm realizing is that it's working with Asia, Europe. So I don't know if I answer your question at the end.
Did. Yeah, you did. And then so I guess the two last things. So one of the things is what are some of your future plans? What would you like to achieve moving forward?
I would like to expand more and more my own online academy. Okay. I also just absolutely want to start to offer in so-called, retreats in the nature. Okay. Because during the COVID experience, as you know, the only things we were allowed to do was basically going out to have a walk in the nature. And this is stuff I was obsessed already, but after the COVID experience, I realized how nature is important to help people to really detach from the external environment, to be really into, what they aspire to achieve. Actually, so I had a chance to offer some team coaching sessions in the nature, in the Asolo Hills, and it was an amazing experience. So my plan for the future, Jess, as soon as will be possible, to travel again without all the tests, all the restrictions, I want to start to offer some courses, some programs in Europe, in Italy, of course, but also to Canary Islands. And I miss US a lot, to be honest. I'm going to create opportunities to be back there because I miss your country. So I would like to be back and teach in the beautiful US as well.
When I miss your country, I've been there 15 times, I think. And so I've had a little break, but I'd like to come back.
Hey, it's almost time to be back, I think, Jess,
Yes, I think so too. So do you want to talk about, okay, so you are in Italy and you're in Oslo. Do you want to talk a little about, which is a beautiful area, and so is Bassano del Grappa, and so is that whole area there. Do you want to talk a little bit about the things to see and do where you are?
Yes, absolutely. I'm happy you did not ask me about what to do in Italy, because that was not an easy answer, right? There are so many things you can do, actually.
Well, let's see. Let's pull out a history book for the last 1,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe
you can
in
go
your
to
area.
Rome, you can go to Venice, you should go to Sicily and Capri, etc., etc. No, actually, a strong suggestion I have for people that is their first experience in Italy is to make sure they visit the north of Italy, the center of Italy, and the south of Italy as well, because as you know, it's not the same Italy. Okay, you need to experience all the different kind of food. Geographically, it's not the same as well. People mentality is not the same, so it's absolutely worthy to do so. And then the second suggestion I want to share is exactly what you said. Make sure when you come to Italy, you visit the big cities, all the famous stuff, but you plan sometimes also in small cities. Like Asolo is amazing because it's so ancient, it's famous, all around the world, and it's so small, okay? And yeah, you have beauty all around, so you really have a chance to experience what is an Italian lifestyle, slow pace, okay?
Some of my favorite. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
No, I hear you were saying is one of your favorite places. Am I wrong?
It is, but one of my favorite things in Italy is when I first started going to Italy, I went to the larger cities. So I still really like Rome. But what I was doing later as I was studying Italian is I liked going to the really small cities where, so for example, I was living near Siena and I was going to Rapalano Therme there, and there's a bunch of little areas and little cities there with incredible frescoes, and there's no tourist. So I might show up there, and I was sitting with Italian people talking. So I have some beautiful photos of all of this. But having to speak in Italian and then just going around the city and seeing different little things that you would never see in a larger city. And I love the little cities too.
It's amazing. Yeah. Also, here I live in the Veneto region, as you said, in Asolo, which is about an hour and a half far away, but by car from Venezia, Venice, actually. I live in the Prosecco land, okay? The headquarters of the Prosecco is here because we have Valdobbiadene, Conegliano, Asolo Hills as well. In all the area where it's possible to grow wine, we have Prosecco, okay? We have other kind of wine as well, but Prosecco is really a must here. So even having the experience to, spend half a day to visit a cantina, to visit all the hills where they made this Prosecco is an experience that absolutely I, recommend to people.
Yes, I think so too. So I wanted to ask you really quickly as we close, how do people find you? So if they want to find you on social media or they'd like to find your classes or your books, how do they find you? What's the best way to find you?
They can find my book on Amazon. As I said, it's available in Italian and in English as well. They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, but to be honest, because of my audience is mainly corporation, executives, entrepreneurs, LinkedIn is probably the best one. I use Facebook also more for fun, to be honest. And then I have my online school, which is hosted by teachable.com, which is a company I love. And I have a website, of course, Katiusciabaggio.com.
Oh, great. And I just love entrepreneurs, so I love hearing your story. So I'll go ahead and end the broadcast here. So let me just click this, and then we'll do this. And I want to tell you, ciao. Mwah. Thank you so much. And